The January 6th tapes are coming out, and it looks like the protesters were mostly peaceful.
CPAC went down this week, and what happens at CPAC, we talk about on the podcast.
Are you down with the DC talk? It's Christian Music March Madness.
All this and more on
The Babylon Bee Podcast.
Americans are discovering that if we want to change the nation, we have to change the way the marketplace works. And that change starts with you, with your local communities, and with your wallet. Be deliberate with your dollars and reject woke corporations. Imagine a world in which every single dollar you spend would go towards companies that share your values for life, liberty, and patriotism. Now with the Public Square app, you can. Public SQ, or Public Square, is an app and website that connects freedom-loving Americans to the community and companies that share their values. Engage in a nationwide platform with the largest directory of patriotic businesses and consumers, all while accessing exclusive savings at businesses that see the world the way you do. The marketplace is free to join for consumers and business owners alike. To get started and shop your values, download the Public Square app from the App Store or Google Play, or click on the link in the video description.
Hey everyone, I'm Kyle, editor-in-chief of the Babylon Bee, hanging out with Jarret LeMaster
Hey guys.
and Adam Yenser,
Yeah.
who has to say hello in Finnish.
You know what? I did not learn how to
You didn't say
hello.
hello.
Did you learn how to say anything? in
Actually,
Finnish?
no, I did. I heard people, it's funny, they just go, hey, hey.
Oh, hey, hey, okay.
I don't know if that's an actual Finnish word or it's just what they say.
How do they say it? Would they be like,
Hey, hey.
hey, hey,
You walk in a store or
Hey,
someone's
hey.
behind a counter or you're just passing somebody, hey, hey.
hey, hey,
Yeah.
how are you?
That's the intonation and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
But it was great. Finland was awesome.
Are
That's
they very
cool.
serious? Are they a very serious
So
people?
they're not, I wouldn't say they're super serious. I did a stand-up show there and it was awesome. A bunch of fans came out. There was 10 comics on the lineup. I think 3 performed in English, including me, obviously, because I don't speak Finnish. The host did half English and half Finnish because some people from the tour group that I was traveling with came to the show. So there was a lot of only English speakers in the audience. And then most of the people in Helsinki speak both Finnish and English and several other languages. But I was interviewed by these 2 guys. They were great, Otto and Johannes. I don't know if they're watching, but they work for a Finnish Lutheran magazine online.
Oh.
They interviewed me about my faith and comedy and the Babylon Bee. And we went to take a picture, and they told me in Finland, we don't smile for pictures.
And they were
a
serious.
I saw
picture
this.
is just, it's just you kind of stand there and look at the camera. That's how
It's
their-
like all those
their
pictures from the
photos are.
1800s where they had to stand there for
Yes.
hours.
Yeah.
You just had to look.
Yeah.
Just look.
Wow,
Hold
that's
still.
interesting. I didn't know
Hold
that.
still for this shot.
Finland was awesome. Went snowmobiling, dog sledding, got to see the Northern Lights, ate reindeer meat, ate bear meat. It was quite an experience.
And you said those are both very tasty meats.
Yes, I enjoyed both of them. Yeah. They prepare the reindeer. They have it sautéed reindeer. They serve it over, kind of cut up like chip steak and served over mashed potatoes with lingonberries and pickles. It was very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they call it something really spectacular, like, what is it, reindeer over?
Sautéed reindeer.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Again, that's the
Yeah.
Finnish word.
This is sauteed reindeer. Hey, hey.
Yep. Yeah, we were up near the Arctic Circle for a lot of the time. So everything was frozen. It was 8 degrees
the
out,
Northern
but it
Lights?
was beautiful. We did see the Northern
Oh,
Lights,
awesome.
yeah.
Very cool. What
It's
color
great to
were
have
they?
you back.
They were green. They got more and more brilliant as the night went on. We went out around 9, and they drive you up north of the Arctic Circle to this frozen lake. And you walk out there, and it's about 11 degrees to begin with. And then there's just this Arctic wind of like freezing rain blowing in your face the whole time. But you wait out there, and at first it just looks like kind of hazy white clouds in the sky. And they fade and they come and go. And you think, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all we're going to see tonight. And then around 11 o'clock, it gets brilliant green, and they call it a curtain. It shimmers and waves across the
Wow,
sky.
that's
It was
awesome.
really cool, yeah.
That is so cool.
It's cool that the universe evolved in this random manner to
Yes.
create that beautiful setting.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
pretty great.
So amazing. Did you feel like you're on a planet? I always
It did feel otherworldly. It felt
like I'm on a planet right now. Sometimes it occurs to you, you know?
Yeah.
I live on a planet somewhere.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Or a flat Earth, depending on who
Yeah.
you
Oh,
talk to.
yes. That's right. A disc.
It's still a planet. It's just a
Yeah.
flat one. That's
Yeah.
Do the flat earthers still call it a planet?
I guess that's it. I guess I don't know.
What do they call it?
They get like a shell.
A diskette or something.
It's the shell of a turtle, isn't it? It's a very large turtle.
Yes, it's turtles all the way down.
All the way. It's turtles all the way down.
Compact disc. Jarret,
Yeah.
you have something to promote.
Oh yes. So I'm gonna be playing Jesus in an Easter play coming up the week right before Easter. So it's the week of Palm Sunday, and I've done this show a long time. They took about 5 years off. So I was doing it for like 12 years. I played a lot of different characters. I played the devil once. I played, I think I played young John one time. And then I started playing Jesus, and I was playing Jesus for about 11, something like that, 11 years, 10 years. I don't know the math. I'm not good at math. But then they took 5 years off.
Young John just John when he was young?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's an old John in the show, too.
There's like James the Lesser. I thought there was a Bible character.
You mean Little John from?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Little John.
I had a staff.
Yeah.
There was this whole fight
Hey, it's
scene.
good old young John. There he is.
But man, that is range to be able to play Satan and Jesus.
that's
It
a
doesn't
light.
get more wide range than that.
No, it doesn't. Well, and this show is interesting. There's like lasers, there's donkeys, there's me in a loincloth. There's
Yes.
I
Is
go
that
into the
in
sky.
Mark, the story of Jesus and the lasers?
Yeah, Jesus and the lasers. Yeah, he has wheels in that
Anthony
chapter.
Hopkins played Hannibal, and he also played C.S. Lewis.
Oh yeah.
So that's a pretty
Yeah.
good. But I still think
that's
Satan to
close.
Jesus
Satan to
is
Jesus.
a little bit more.
yeah.
That's like the furthest points on the
that's what it is.
Jarret is
the
here
line-
and
the
Anthony
linear line.
Hopkins is here.
It's like his range is here. And
My
your
range is
just
much
slightly
larger
closer,
than Anthony
yeah.
Hopkins. No, it's so crazy. We there's crazy stuff happens in the show too. It's a lot of fun. You just never know what's going to happen. It's a
well,
bunch
we've read
of
the Bible. We know what's going to happen.
Well, I know, but
Kind of
sometimes, one time, this is crazy. One time, I was, all these Roman soldiers, they're all beating me up and stuff. They throw me on the cross, and I'm on the top of this set, which is probably already about 15 feet up. And there's this point in the music where it all kind of like goes, dun, 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 and Jesus's cross gets like slammed into the ground, and it looks like he's like, blah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for dramatic effect. And so anyway, one time,
Do you say blah?
I'm like,
I'm
so
trying
that's
to
exactly.
debate whether it's
No, yeah.
sacrilegious to portray Jesus as going. Ugh.
No. So anyway, these guys forgot to put the pin on the right hand side is I'm holding on to these two pins. Obviously, they don't really crucify me, but
You don't do the Philippines thing.
Yeah,
Where they
no.
actually nail you up.
or that one movie with
Yeah.
Krista. Yeah. Anyway, so but they kind of catapulted me. They didn't put the pin in on this side, so they just threw it up. These big cops, like they're usually all the Roman soldiers are cops. They're really strong guys, and they just like threw me up, and I like flew off of the cross. Like I was already like 25 feet in the air, and I just flew off the cross, and everyone was like, I was like flying through the air in my loincloth. I had my wig on, like I'm just like, whoa, and I land on the ground, and I did this like ninja roll. It's so stupid, but I like landed and rolled. I'm like, I got to break my fall. I was, So I was like, dude, whoo, and I landed like on my, like a surfer. Surprise! I was like,
Surprise, Satan! I'm back.
I'm back.
The crowd gasped. We didn't see this coming.
No, the crowd gasped. Literally,
Just
they were
turned
all like,
into a Jackie
like
Chan fight scene.
Jesus isn't supposed to do that. He's just supposed to go blah.
so I stood up and
Looking
and
at the
whole
script.
crowd,
The script just says blah.
the cast. Okay, none of the people in the cast that are extras, they're not actors, so they don't know what to do. And I don't even know if you were an actor if you know what to do if Jesus got catapulted. But we land on and I get there and everyone's just silent. Like the entire place is just looking at me, staring. And I'm staring at everyone else too because I was very surprised by the whole experience. And so I like look out at the congregation and I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I turned around and I like climbed back up on it. Because nobody
climbed back up on the
Nobody knew what to do. And so I was like, okay. And I just like threw my arm around. Because like one side didn't have a pin and I couldn't hold my
man.
shoulder up for that long. So I was just like,
Oh wow.
And this was a live performance.
seriously.
This wasn't a
Yes, no, this was
rehearsal.
live
Yeah.
performance. We had an audience.
Is this on tape somewhere?
You know what? There might be a tape of it.
We've gotta get this
Oh
tape.
gosh, there was one other time. Okay, there's this massive like 6-foot stone that they roll away. So like and it's made out of styrofoam. It's not light, super light, but it's it's light enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we were walking. There's a healing scene. So I'm walking through and I'm healing everybody. And there's this guy that's sitting right in front of the the stone. And he's from Sri Lanka. He's like an immigrant. He moved here. He's a nice guy. He's really cool. Not an actor. And he's just like going, alms for the blind, alms for the blind. And I'm walking over to him. And one of the Roman soldiers accidentally hits the top of this thing, right? And so it like falls, and he's like, "Alms for the blind, alms for the bleh." And
He said bleh.
Wow.
He just went bleh. And it's like, and the whole this big rock, this big like it's like a 6.5 foot rock, like lands on this guy, this poor guy. And again, nobody's an actor in there. I'm the only one. So I walk over and I'm like, I just lifted up the rock. I'm Jesus, So I'm just like. I put it back
That's how
on.
Jesus
He is
saved the blind
healed.
man.
and everyone's like, and he's like looking at me and he goes,
Lifting the Indiana Jones rock off.
and he's just like, I could see. I could see. He literally didn't know what to do. And it was awesome. And I was just like, bless you, my child, bless you. Oh man, I've corkscrewed into the ceiling. Like there's like one time they crossed and I was like, like up into the ceiling.
You really don't know what's going to happen.
Dude, the flipping donkey died. Okay, one time the donkey died. Like the night before
real
the
died?
performance.
Oh,
really
but not
died.
on stage.
Not on stage.
No, right before though. And so her name was Maggie. And I'd get on her. I'd been riding this donkey for like 9 years. She's supposed to be a colt that never had been ridden. She was like 60 years old. So it's like wasn't biblically accurate. But anyway, so I get on this, the night before she kicks the bucket, we get a brand new donkey the next day. And like, it was like the biggest donkey I've ever seen. And so I jumped on this donkey to ride in for the great triumphal entry. And like, there's all these like little kids with tambourines and stuff running around this. The donkey got confused and started like bucking and then ran out.
Oh, wow.
I like jumped off. The donkey ran past all these little kids and I'm just like, like I'm Jesus, Like everyone's like, Jesus, what do we do? And I'm like, I'm just an actor. I don't know. I have no control. And so anyway, so you should come see the show.
Oh, it
It's
sounds
great.
like a great time.
Now I'm going. I wasn't planning on it before, but now I'm going to be there.
No, the other side of it is, it's so there's all this like CCM music from the 90s. It's like totally nostalgic. Like, it's like a lot of, Stephen Curtis Chapman and stuff like, but it's weird because I have this, God uses the cheesy things of the world to shame the cool sometimes. And like 1,000 people come to Christ every year. And so people are just like, I want to follow Christ. I want to follow Christ. So if you guys get a chance, it's called Luminate Church. They changed the name of the church a few years ago. Anyway, so it's called Luminate Church. It's in Covina. The show is called I Will Follow Christ. Come check it out. My friend plays the devil. We have a great time. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And you never know what you're going to see. That's the other thing. It might.
This is awesome.
Might happen.
great.
You never know.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll have links to all that in the show notes, so go check it out. Hey, if you want to support the Babylon Bee, you can do that by becoming a subscriber. We rely on our subscribers to keep the Babylon Bee satire flowing. Go to babylonbee.com/plans. You get extra content, access to the forums where you can pitch headlines and interact with other subscribers, and you get the full ad-free podcast. babylonbee.com/plans. Go there right now. All right, we're going to get on with the show. CPAC happened. We're going to talk Christian music. We're going to look at the weirdest website you've ever seen, and we're going to talk to Paul Cox from RefTunes. Let's hit it.
Hey, Mr. Postman, what's in the mailbag?
All right, so now we have a really special email, and this is something for Adam.
Oh, great.
Does he know about this?
I don't think so, unless he...
I didn't know this was happening on this one. We got an email like this before, right?
Yeah, so this is someone named Team Martin03, and he says, so you read my question on the podcast, so I'm here to update you on this amazing girl for Adam. She fits nearly all of your conditions.
My conditions.
Here's my conditions.
Except that she's a 5-hour drive north of you in Santa
okay.
Cruz. Yeah. But we can take care of that.
They're going to give me a car?
Take care of that.
Here's the rundown. She's in her early 30s, maybe 33 or 34.
Yeah.
They don't know how old she is.
Haven't asked.
Never been married.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
So is that one of your conditions?
It's always better if they're never married.
So 33 or 34?
It's fitting my list of demands so far.
33 or 34, check. Never been married, check. She's very recently reformed, still reforming Pentecostal.
Got it.
Okay.
It's not Lutheran though, right?
Yeah.
She started attending our church during COVID because she was impressed with how courageous Calvinists can be. And she was not impressed with her Pentecostal buddies. Our church is CREC, pretty similar to Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, except that we're crazy enough to let everybody who's baptized take communion. Is that different from?
The Lutheran Church Missouri Synod is very strict about, they read the confession of what we believe about communion prior to communion every week, and you're only invited forward if you confess also that Christ is truly present in the bread and wine.
Okay.
Now, the ELCA is more like this, where they'll let everyone who's a baptized believer come up.
Yeah.
Got you.
As long as you wear the rainbow pin, you can take communion.
Truly Lutheran.
In the
ELCA.
liberal ELCA ones, yeah.
In the last 2.5 years at her church, she has single-handedly started a weekly homeless outreach, which her whole church has become involved in, and volunteered to disciple her junior high girls, who all think she's amazing.
That's great.
Is the more condition. Checking off
That's
more
my
conditions.
other demand is junior high girls have to approve of
How
you.
do the junior high girls feel?
And we think she's amazing, too. And if you think this is all just to cover up the fact that she's not attractive, you would be wrong. She's super cute, fit,
Okay.
and gorgeous.
Check.
Which is about the best description I can give you as a 40-something pastor's wife who's been married for 20 years.
Got it.
And if that whole description doesn't do it for you, her name is Christian.
Wow.
What?
Amazing.
You have my email and here's my number. We will arrange an all-expenses-paid trip for a setup date if you're interested. Troy,
They're really offering me an all expenses paid
trip
trip.
to Santa Cruz.
I've always wanted to go to Santa Cruz.
Well,
This sounds like a rom-com.
It does. Yes.
you don't have to answer right
Yeah.
now, but
I'll think about it. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we've got
I'm
the
interested.
contact
I
information.
like that they
here,
have
so-
my list of demands.
Okay.
How Paul wrote letters to all the churches in the Greece and Mediterranean. I sent a list of my romantic demands to every church in California.
To every Lutheran church.
No, this one's what is it, CREC or something?
Oh, right.
CREC, yeah.
That's
CREC,
right. You know, I would love to see this I wish we could document this experience. I think it would be
If I
fun.
decide to do it, we would definitely have to
We need to
document
document it.
Yeah.
I would love to see the rom-com version of this. I think it would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Like, looking for
What
love.
what I'm curious about in all this, I don't think they've mentioned in either email whether they've told this girl about this. yet.
I was wondering the same thing because that should be one of the
Yes.
conditions that she knows that you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I show up there on my all expenses paid trip, and they're like, "There she is. Go surprise her and tell her what we did."
Yeah.
Go talk to her.
Yeah.
Go talk to
Tell
her.
her your
man.
name. That's crazy.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
wonderful.
I
All right.
wonder, like, maybe I don't fit her list of demands.
Yeah, she might have conditions too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for that offer, and we'll keep you posted.
Consider it. Yeah.
Can we?
I'll consider it.
I think we should get the picture first.
Yes. See, I didn't want to say that. I don't want to say that because I don't want to be mean, because I'm sure they're telling the truth. But it's always a little suspicious when they say she's gorgeous and beautiful. No attachment. There's no
Attachment. Oh, and I'm a 40-year-old wife of a pastor.
No. I'm sure.
may
I'm
have
sure
different
she's
tastes.
beautiful.
We
Yeah.
may have
Well,
different tastes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get the picture and we'll let you know. So,
But
now
see,
we're-
the other bad thing is then if they send the picture and then next week we're just like, no, we're not doing that.
we never bring it up again. Oh my
It's
god.
horrible.
Okay, well. Hey, Babylon Bee fans, join me at the 2023 Issues Etc. Making the Case Conference, Friday, June 16th and Saturday, June 17th at Concordia University, Chicago. I'll be making the case against cancel culture. I'm going to talk about comedy and art and how Christians can use these tools to fight against cancel culture. It's time for us to stand up for our beliefs in the public square, and the Babylon Bee is just one small part of that fight for free speech. It's going to be a great time. I'll be joined by journalists Mark and Molly Hemingway, Lutheran Church Missouri Synod President Matt Harrison, San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone, and others. Attendance is limited to 500. On-campus dorm options are available. Early bird registration is $140 and includes 3 meals. Learn more at issuesetc.org. That's issuesetc.org. Making the Case, June 16th and 17th in Chicago. issuesetc.org. I'll see you there.
What's in the news this week?
Speaking of Christian, we're going to talk about what's in the news this week, and this is my favorite news story. It's not really a news story, but who's the best artist in Christian music? There's a Twitter account the guy that runs the Twitter account is Eric McClanahan, and he has been doing a painstakingly researched Twitter bracket of Christian music tournament like the March Madness basketball tournament, where Twitter users are voting for the best artist in each bracket.
Oh,
and it's currently on round 2. I think this is going to go all month, depending on how long the voting
cool.
takes.
Wow.
And Yeah, let's weigh in here. Let's look at we'll put the bracket up on the screen there. There were like, what, 64 teams, or was it 16 in each division. And he's divided this by pioneers and crossovers, rock, alternative and metal, youth group music, and CCM radio.
Oh, I see.
yeah,
So
this
there's
is
like
different
4
genres.
divisions or whatever.
Because what I thought was difficult is already in the second round in the what's the first one? Pioneers and crossovers.
Yeah.
You have Switchfoot and POD against each other, and I feel like they're two that made sort of the biggest mainstream.
Yeah, they made big mainstream
impact.
splashes. So
And it's hard to see them against each other that early. You know.
Well, it's a weird. I mean, you've got Amy Grant versus Sixpence.
Yeah.
Like, they're not in the same category.
I didn't even realize Sixpence None the Richer was a Christian band.
They were kind of
that's
that borderline.
I didn't
always
know
told,
that, yeah.
always riding the fence. You know?
in my heart. Yeah, the Supertones versus DC Talk. That's not even a thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have this. I do you want to predict who you think is going to be the best one?
So I really want Switchfoot to get at least into the semifinals.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to beat Amy Grant. I think Amy Grant has a lot of name recognition. And she's number 1 seed in that bracket. I really will pull for Switchfoot there. Also, you got Keith Green, who a lot of people that follow Christian music are going to vote. And this next round might be Keith Green versus Larry Norman. And they were the two like grandfathers. They weren't married to each other, not like gay grandfathers, but they were like the two grandfathers of Christian music in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You've got Striper. I have a tendency to think on the right side you're going to get a Jars of Clay versus DC Talk matchup, and I think I
feel like DC Talk will definitely go far.
I'm hoping they get to the semifinals because I really liked them.
There's some pretty big early
competition.
There's some big first round eliminations.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the ones like Delirious, they were a big worship band in the late 90s. They got knocked out by the Supertones in round 1.
That's crazy.
The Newsboys got knocked out in round 1.
Oh, wow.
They were seeded 6 because they went up
major
against
upset.
Yeah, they went up against Five Iron Frenzy.
It's very interesting.
Oh, I
Five
see.
Iron Frenzy knocked out Newsboys because I feel like the Newsboys have had a much longer run.
Yeah, they have. Well,
Five Iron Frenzy did.
And Five Iron Frenzy are communists now. But they retweeted. Five Iron Frenzy kept retweeting the poll, like getting their fans to vote for it. So there was a little bit of the interaction there.
Oh, I guess.
Hillsong is like probably the most popular Christian worship group right now,
Hillsong United.
and they got knocked out in round 1. Hillsong Worship also got knocked out in round 1.
Well, and Bethel Music would be the other one. Stephen Curtis Chapman,
Bethel Music.
Yeah,
Oh, we're talking about Christian bands here.
Yeah, there. So for King and Country, or like versus Jeremy Camp, I'm like, whatever, dude. Like,
So I guess-
King and Country for sure.
If I'm going to make a prediction, I'll say Michael W. Smith is going to win this division.
DC Talk. I think
DC
they'll win
Talk
that
is going to win this division. I'm going to say Switchfoot, but that's probably my
Possibly
hope.
Amy Grant.
Yeah, that's my hopeful. Whatever.
Amy Grant's like Nashville.
Skillet's
royalty.
on there too still?
She's like Nashville royalty.
Let's go MXPX for this division.
I don't know. I would actually disagree.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's wishful thinking on my part. But then the final round, I think DC Talk is definitely going to be crowned Lord of the Dance.
I agree.
Yeah.
On the bank of the Tennessee River.
So this guy has some interaction. Demon Hunter retweeted his tournament. Derek Webb retweeted it. Who's Derek Webb? He's somebody,
Derek
right?
Webb, Caedmon's Call.
Oh, Caedmon's
He's
Call.
also, I think, a progressive Christian now.
Yeah.
But he wrote a bunch of
that's
actually
right.
really thoughtful music back in the day. It was really good.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. And a member of Reliant K voted against his own band.
Oh, wow.
to vote
that's
for Five Iron
interesting.
Frenzy.
That's funny.
In this one. Reese Roper of Five Iron Frenzy says, help Five Iron to become the champions in this meaningless poll.
That's funny.
So lots of cool interaction. Jars of Clay says that they demand an inquiry into the way the tournament is being run.
Yeah, because they didn't make it past the first, right?
Five
Or
Iron
did
is
they?
sharing it on... no, they did, yeah.
Oh, they did.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Five Iron is sharing relentlessly on Facebook and Twitter trying to...
They really
Trying
wanted
to
it.
fire up their fan base.
Sanctus Real was upset that they weren't even included in the tournament.
Oh.
So
See, that's what I don't know all the Christian rock bands and music bands as well, but are there any major ones that were left off that you know of?
I know he tweeted like a list of some that got left off. I think there are some major ones that got left out. But I mean, you got to pick 64, I think he probably picked the right ones for the tournament. Cutlass got eliminated in round 1 by third day, and they responded with eyeball emojis.
Is this a serious... I mean, this is a particular period of time, right? It's not now, because Maverick City would probably win now.
This is like classic CCM, or some of those are modern bands like Hillsong. This is just all-time greats, I think.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Maverick City's moving into that category, but I
don't even know who that
Stephen
is.
Curtis Chapman.
He's got the eyeballs here.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on with me, guys? Because he did not. He wrote the Lord of the Dance, and he's not going to win the Lord of the Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Johnny Cash ever considered in these things? He's
Probably-
older,
he's not-
but
he wouldn't be
he made
CCM.
a lot of so that's more modern kind of
Contemporary Christian
I would
Contemporary,
music.
say
I
he's
see.
like, yeah, this would be the modern contemporary. He was not even really a Christian artist
Yeah,
until later, but he never really.
When the man
his
comes
life.
around. you
Yeah,
know,
and in the early 2000s, before his death, he released a lot of Christian
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah,
He did. He was just classic country.
he's
Yeah.
not considered as Christian music because he's good.
I see.
That's it. Yeah. All right. So that was great.
Best
Thank
of
you,
luck
Kyle.
to all the
Best
artists.
of luck.
Yeah.
That was great.
And Firearm Friendly, please stop being communists. You're my favorite band.
I know. Gosh. That and Derek Webb, please come back to the Lord. My
Come
goodness.
on, man.
Okay. This week in drag queen news. All right.
We need a graphic and a music for that. this week in drag queen news.
We got to play the scissors.
On the Babylon Bee.
This will be the last time I ever do your hair.
So what's the story, Jared?
Is this conservatism? The RNC announced the Pride Coalition. Okay, this is a recent thing. A partnership with log cabin Republicans ahead of the midterms at Mar-a-Lago. So the RNC chairwoman, Rona McDaniel, said RNC is committed to working with the country's largest group representing LGBTQ conservatives and allies.
Now, this
Really,
is all
Republicans? Really?
This is
what we're
all.
doing?
I think you buried the lead. This is all about CPAC. Did we mention CPAC?
I did say it's CPAC.
It was that-
CPAC
it was that-
2023.
Oh, okay.
Conservative drag queens showed up at CPAC.
Right.
Right.
Conservative. Yes, they are going to be showing up at
So the
That's
log
CPAC.
cabin Republicans are the gay, like the gay Republican.
the gay Republicans.
coalition.
How do we feel about?
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, that's a great.
It's kind of an interesting question because it's like you can maybe see if some people like can share certain values. Being able to like,
I personally think generally that it's a good thing politically and for the country. But I think there's a big divide between people's motives for conservatism and their own political beliefs. Because I think a big portion of evangelicals see faith and religious values as a huge part of their political views. Now, I think it's valid to have those debates in terms of theology and your religious beliefs. But as far as politics and the future of the country goes, I know this will be controversial with some of our viewers, but I do think I meet gay people, even a few transgender people who are very pro-free speech, who don't like the way wokeness is being forced in culture. And I think in terms of having allies supporting liberty in general in the Constitution, I think it's good to have those allies. But I do think we need to be wary of not letting that cultural impact influence religious beliefs and
yeah, and I worry. I
values.
guess I worry a little bit about the slippery slope. Like if it's log cabin Republicans today, is it like drag cabin Republicans in 50 years?
Yeah.
You know that.
right. The question to me is like we bring this into the center of kind of the conservative movement, and then it normalizes it even more. Then does it then become normal in our public schools even more from the conservative side? Is it just the liberals pushing this agenda?
Yeah.
Or are they really pushing an agenda? Like I have a tendency to agree with you, Adam, that pluralism is a good thing. I think a variety of people having opinions that are conservative and free speech advocates is a really good thing. I think having those voices and having a conversation with folks in a political sense, really a great thing.
Yeah.
But I also think, religiously, forcing people to believe certain things or shaming people for not believing that these things are good or not. I mean, like I'm always going to think it's perverse. Like, you know what I mean? Even if I like the people,
Yes,
I'm always going to have a hard time with what they do because it's just not, it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, probably
I
shouldn't
think we have
say
to be
that.
wary of what their motives are in promoting this at a political
Yeah, is
event.
this a Trojan
because-
horse? Like, that's the question. Is it a Trojan horse? Well, Matt Walsh had an interesting Twitter comment. He said, absolute embarrassment. You're not a conservative if you're fighting conservative perversion. That shouldn't need to be explained. So
He
obviously,
was sharing this picture of a drag queen entering CPAC, a drag queen who's calls himself Lady MAGA.
Lady MAGA.
I guess this drag queen person has been seen at multiple conservative events. Like it's kind of a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And here's
Now, do we know how Lady MAGA feels about things like drag queen story hours?
Right.
Should kids be exposed to it? Or because, to your point, I think as a Christian, I am certainly, confident in my religious faith, calling certain behaviors perverse, saying that doesn't fit my values.
Yeah.
In terms of liberty for the country, until they started pushing drag queen story hours and it's on kids, I am, even if I disagree with it morally, if they want to have a drag queen bingo night at a bar or something like that for adults, I don't necessarily think the government should be stopping that, or it should be out. It's okay, that's something I disagree with or I have moral objections to, but in the sense of a free society, they have a right to do that.
Right. Yeah, and it's a challenging thing. You're talking about this.
I don't know if Lady MAGA has ever read books to children at libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that is the question, is like, are we trying to tell kids that it's okay? Like, are we trying to tell kids it's okay versus, as some person dressing like a lady?
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, you can dress like what you want, but.
CPAC, have you guys ever been to CPAC?
No.
I've never been
supposed
either.
to go. We were supposed to go this year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, at some point.
We were supposed to go to see Lady MAGA.
Yeah. We actually were invited at one point, but I don't know what happened. We got busy.
I always see those big political events as just being giant circuses, and I'm not really interested. But
yeah, I don't mind going there and meeting fun people like Lady MAGA.
I want to be part of the drag queen bingo night. I don't know.
Yeah. In other news, Tucker Carlson got January 6th tapes from House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and he is playing them for his audience. The question is, do they tell a different story than what the January 6th committee was telling us January 6th was? Kevin McCarthy defended releasing the tapes to Tucker Carlson after media said Tucker used the tapes to whitewash what happened, made it seem mostly peaceful, and downplayed Officer Brian Sicknick's death, who was seen walking around on the footage seemingly okay after he was attacked and pepper sprayed by MAGA supporters. Tucker said the J6 committee added audio to silent CCTV footage, inserting screams and other crowd mayhem sounds to make it seem more ominous. Now, I read that.
True?
And, see, that's the thing. I don't know if that's true. I feel like that's a big scandal if it's true.
If he's claiming that, and that's true,
But
they're putting the Wilhelm
I haven't
scream
I haven't exactly.
top of the footage.
Somebody jumps through the window.
I haven't watched any of this, but I guess they said that the shaman was being led around by the police
So
officer.
I did see some of Tucker Carlson's footage of it. It does show the shaman being led through the interior of the Capitol building with 2 police officers at least, who are walking beside him, who are talking to him at points, who open a door for him at one point. When he's in the House chamber at the end, he prays for he gives this public prayer where he prays for them for letting him inside and stuff. And he seems like sort of a weird guy, regardless of whether you think he's bad or not.
Cultic rain dance.
I think what's always hard for me with this is because of how politicized this has become, it's so hard to just speak about the January 6th thing with nuance.
Yeah.
I think it was terrible that it devolved into a riot. I think the violence that did happen was bad, and I don't ever want to hesitate from condemning that. I do think there were a few isolated groups there that had nefarious plans, these militias and stuff that showed up. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that the vast majority of people came there. They were peaceful. The activities that took place when they were in the Capitol did not seem particularly violent. And it was not this narrative that the J6 committee and the Democrats made up, where it was a violent insurrection planned by President Trump and his followers. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to release all the footage. There's a debate over whether all news outlets should get all 40,000 hours and it should be made available publicly. I think it's good to let people see what happened for themselves.
Well, according to this poll, over 80%, 78% of Democrats, 86% of Republicans say that all the videos should be released.
Yeah.
It's like everybody
wants to see it. Yeah.
What happened there?
And what's suspicious about it is it does seem, now it says 78% of Democrats publicly want it to be released.
Yeah.
It does seem like Democrat politicians and media figures are the ones who are most opposed to, not releasing it. And I saw CNN has already run articles trying to debunk and downplay what Tucker Carlson is saying. But it's right there on tape. You can't deny what you're seeing.
Debunk the actual footage.
Saying don't believe this, don't accept what you're seeing with your own eyes.
Well, Senator Chuck Schumer stated Tuesday that Fox News should prevent Tucker Carlson from airing more January 6th video footage of lies, like footage of lies.
Actual
You can't have
footage of what
lies.
actually happened.
They're just footage.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And the Brian Sicknick thing, it's so sad that that officer died, but his death has been politicized in a weird way because the official medical examiner report said that he died of natural causes of medical conditions, but that it was exacerbated by the events that took place that day. But what I think is always weird about it, if you look up the Wikipedia article on January 6th, they always refer to it in the media on the left as the deadly insurrection. They say there's these 4 people that died.
Right.
If you look at the 4 people that died, it was Brian Sicknick who died a day later, according to the medical examiner, of natural causes. There was someone who overdosed on drugs near the riot. And then there was 2 other people, I think, that died of natural causes, either during or after. There is no other tragedy or riot where they count casualties as people who died of natural causes nearby or after it took place.
That's right.
It's a ridiculous thing
My
the way they
grandmother
try to
died
spin
up the
it.
street.
Yeah.
She was 2 states away, but it counts.
Norm MacDonald's tweet on January 6, 2021. Let's hear Norm from Beyond the Grave.
Okay.
I loved when the violent terrorists made sure to respect the velvet ropes in statuary. That's a great picture there.
It is.
I'm just picturing.
He's got a way of saying things. I don't know why that tickles me so much. But
He gets me.
no, Trump had things to
Here's
say.
Trump's response. He says, "Congratulations to Tucker Carlson on one of the biggest scoops as a reporter in U.S. history. The new surveillance footage, all capitals, of the January 6th events, capital, sheds an entirely different light on what actually happened. The Unselect Committee was a giant scam and has now unequivocally been stamped as criminal fabricators of this most important day. Pelosi and McConnell failed on security. The police story is sad and difficult to watch. Trump and most others are totally innocent. Let them go free now."
So he's saying to let Trump go free?
I feel like Trump's nickname game has really gone downhill in recent years. Like the Unselect Committee was his parody of the Select Committee.
Yeah, and Ron DeSanctimonious was the worst.
So bad, so bad.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
I think he'll get it back again. He's gearing up for campaign mode. He'll be whipping out the hits again.
It's seasonal. Yeah, it's seasonal.
We got one more message. I guess this is a Truth Social truth.
Oh, okay.
When you post something on Truth, it's called Truth Social. It's called a truth, and when you share it, it's called a retruth.
A retruth.
And it says to post your truth. So I don't even. It doesn't even make sense.
And it's all This one is every single word is all capital.
Let the January 6 prisoners go. They were convicted or are awaiting trial based on a giant lie, a radical left con job. Thank you to Tucker Carlson and Speaker of the House Kevin Oh, there's one lowercase letter. The McCarthy.
Oh, yes.
he did bother. He did bother to lowercase that. McCarthy, for what you both have done. New video footage is irrefutable! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. All right.
Crazy.
And that was at 4 a.m.
4 a.m., 4:28 a.m.
These
He
people
just wakes up or is still awake. I have to say this right now.
They do not sleep. They don't sleep.
My gosh.
All right. Well, now it is time for Sizzler Facts.
Sizzler Facts.
65 weeks ago, we started Sizzler Facts. Here's the one for this week. In 2011, Sizzler introduced a food truck concept called ZZ Truck, not to be confused with ZZ Top. I'm sure it was a take on that, a play on words.
ZZ Truck, yeah.
The menu included items such as sliders, $1 cheese toast, red velvet ice cream sandwiches, and their signature sandwich, the Meatitarian, a veritable pile of tri-tip pulled pork, jalapeno bacon, and jack cheese, slathered with chipotle sauce, all stacked unceremoniously between 2 slices of cheese toast.
Oh, that
looks delicious.
That makes me hungry. Yeah, I'm
looks-
just saying.
That actually looks really good.
Yes.
Yeah. I had
I
some
feel like
eggs.
I would die of natural causes the next day, exacerbated
You'd be
by that
counted among the
sandwich.
January
you'd be
6th.
counted.
Yeah.
The ZZ Truck is based around the Santa Ana, California area. If you would like to visit the ZZ Truck, you cannot. They have been non-operational for about a decade. This has been Sizzler Facts.
Sad.
We actually have a Sizzler review now.
And now, a review of Sizzler.
This is from the Avenue 65 de Infanteria, kilometer 5.4, Carolina 00985, Puerto Rico, Sizzler Escorial location. And Rene Rivera wrote, this is a review that he posted of, or she, I don't know if Rene is woman or man, of the Sizzler. Went for lunch and really surprised with a Z to enter a restaurant totally differentes to all sizzles.
Differentes.
To all sizzles. It looked out and organized different. Well, the food tasted good, but the service was slow. Tables to beer each other and kind of noisy. It has free parking. But I'll rather not visit this one again because I feel like I am not in Sizzle.
I am not in Sizzle.
I want to look that up on maps and see if it's actually a Sizzler or if it's just a different restaurant with a similar name.
It's not the actual. This is not Sizzle.
Went to the Sizzler. It was a Burger King.
Well, speaking of sizzling content, now it is time, for the first time in a few weeks, weekly news with Adam Yenser.
Do you have anxiety in your life and do you find it hard to find time to meditate on the scriptures? I know I do. Look at me, I'm a mess. Abide is the #1 Christian meditation app. Abide is this cool app. See, look, I've got it on my phone right here. It's got scripture readings for the day. It has meditations for various different problems you might be facing, such as anxiety and stress. It even has a whole thing for sleep stories. So you can kind of just doze off as you peacefully meditate on God's word. Everything's really well produced with different sound effects like, babbling brooks and waterfalls. So why don't you download the Abide app today and you can find peace amidst the chaos. Right now we have a special offer when you subscribe. 25% off your first year when you sign up for the premium subscription. But only if you text our promo code Babylon to 22433. Don't wait. Download Abide Sleep and Pray Meditation today and text our promo code Babylon to 22433 today to get 25% off.
It's time for the weekly news with Adam Yenser.
In a new interview this week, Prince Harry said that psychedelics are now a fundamental part of his life and help him deal with trauma. Specifically, he said mushrooms have helped him alleviate anxiety, accept his own self-worth, and realize the rest of the royal family are interdimensional lizard people. A family in China raised what they thought was a Mastiff puppy for 2 years before discovering it was a bear. They realized it was a bear because it, quote, tasted too gamey. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot lost her bid for re-election last week, and she was so sad her face just sank. What's that? Oh, never mind, it was like that already. Chris Rock performed a live Netflix comedy special where he addressed Will Smith, Meghan Markle, outrage culture, and why he supports abortion, after which a newborn crawled on stage and slapped him. Michael Moore has called for a nationwide boycott of Walgreens because it stopped selling the abortion pill at some stores. Michael, this makes no sense. You're not pregnant. The only thing that's going to get rid of that bump is diet and exercise. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis traveled to California this week, where he criticized rival Gavin Newsom, who, like DeSantis, is also expected to lose to Trump in 2024. Upon returning to Florida from California, DeSantis checked his shoes to make sure he wasn't tracking any poop in. 2 illegal immigrants from Honduras were charged in Nebraska for hunting and killing a bald eagle in order to eat it. They were given a hefty fine and banned from the zoo for 2 weeks. Walmart is closing its last remaining stores in Portland, Oregon, due to record-breaking thefts and crime. Disappointed customers say they'll now have to start robbing at Target. While driving back from a date in Beverly Hills, Pete Davidson crashed his Mercedes into a home, and just like his stand-up, he failed to bring the house down. It was revealed this week that many Chuck E. Cheese restaurants still use a floppy disk to program their dancing characters. A spokesperson explained that Chuck E. Cheese hasn't updated their computer system since the last time they cleaned the ball pit. That's it for weekly news. To see more, subscribe to my YouTube channel and come see me live. I'll be at the Comedy Chateau in North Hollywood on St. Patrick's Day, and on April 7th and 8th, I'll be at the Funny Farm in Ohio, near where that train exploded.
Oh, that was great. I'm glad you do that every week.
That was a breath of fresh air.
Do it every week, except not some weeks.
Is this the most insane website of all time?
Is this the most insane website of all time? We found a website that looks like it was designed the same year as the King James Bible in 1611. We got to see here if the King James only folks are all right. So this is a hardcore
Oh, yeah.
King James only website. You might have seen this before. This was kind of this makes the rounds now and then, but it's Jesus-is- savior.com. And we just kind of wanted to peruse. Are we able to zoom this in at all, Dan?
You know what's funny? Our producer Dan stumbled across this website, and the same week that he brought this up, I had stumbled across it's one of the links. It's very hard to navigate this website.
Yes.
But I was looking up something regarding Billy Graham, and there was a link to it was just called "Why Billy Graham is in Hell," and it was one of the links on this website.
So we first got a comment on the Starfield background, like kind of a nebula, and it's like very tessellated, like it's the same image. Kind of tessellated in the background there. And then
It's a great word, tessellated.
Did you say tessellated?
I don't even know if that's
what
the
that word
correct.
It's a great word.
Yeah.
A tessellating object is like when any object that can interlock in a pattern. You know, like
Tessellating.
triangles can tessellate, hexagons can tessellate, squares can
A
tessellate.
tesseract.
Like a
That's like the
tesseract.
tesseract.
A
It sounds
pentagon
like
cannot, I think.
This sounds like information you would have gotten by doing a lot of board gaming.
Well, yeah, like hexagons. That's why board game maps are squares or hexagons.
Tessellating
Because they tessellate.
is a word board gamers use.
So, we got to.
It does look like a 90s screensaver kind of background
Yeah.
that you would just copy and paste.
Remember that
there.
Starfield that would come
Yeah,
at
yeah.
you, and like that was really cool.
I do remember that.
Also,
And you would just watch it because there was nothing else to do back then.
just-
You just watch it on your
remember
computer.
those like triangular shapes that would like bounce around on the
And
screen?
you try to watch if it hit the corner
the
exactly.
corner, yeah.
You got like a Sizzler logo that would just bounce.
Did you guys ever have the one with the pipes?
Oh yeah,
yes,
and,
the
it
pipes
would,
that
and
where
they
it
would
kinda went
wiggle
around.
and
That was really cool.
intertwist.
I had a dream with those.
And then there
once.
was one that it looked almost like you were walking down hallways in the original Wolfenstein game, where it was just like
would
it'd
turn down
go
the
like
corners.
down a
I
maze.
played the
yeah.
original Wolfenstein,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that was that was amazing, groundbreaking. This has so much information on it.
So
you guys.
bright yellow links, and they're
And
just,
way too many just haphazardly all over the
They're just
page,
kind of-
It's like different categories that one person came up with. It's like 666. You know,
Yeah.
Bible study 2, not Bible study 1. Dead churches.
Farmageddon, Hail Mary, Hail Satan.
These are all categories and pages, though.
Yeah.
Soul winning.
I like this search bar that just kind of flashes on and off the
There's
screen.
one about
for no reason.
Bohemian Grove.
Right next to alcohol kills is feminism.
Terry Schiavo murdered. That's one of them.
Hell vision.
I'm gonna
Hell vision.
I'm gonna read through the links that he saw fit to kind of put along here, just real
Okay.
rapid
All right,
fire.
go ahead.
Transgenics, divorce sin, DCFS monsters, GADD, abortion murder, U.S. bankruptcy, Illuminati, witchcraft, homosexuality, Donald Trump,
Question mark?
missions, homeless. Like what? If
you wanna
I
get
wouldn't know what to
Really,
click on
really
if
interesting. Yeah.
you
If you
know.
want to get involved, click here.
I like. He's got this image. This might be from Chick Tracks, but we have
Oh, yeah.
the Pope, probably a.
That looks like
Jew,
Billy Graham
maybe?
or something, actually.
No.
I would say like that's like
I thought maybe it was an anti-Jew thing.
It's an-
I would imagine
evangelical.
I'm sure if you look, there's anti-Jew stuff on
Yeah.
there. It just
No.
seems like that kind of a website.
It could be. It's either
Satan,
that
Pope,
or yeah.
and it says, "We hope you like our Bible," and they're holding up the NIV.
Yes.
New International.
Oh, and then there's, of course, like 9/11 was an inside job.
What truly happened on 9/11? Period. The solid evidence against some of our highest leaders is very disturbing. Wake up, America, because we're losing our nation and freedoms. Liberty isn't free. Watch 911 video. 911 was an inside job. And then we've got the inside
crazy.
job, 911 archives.
And I love how there's all these.
There's
Go
a
ahead.
picture of the guys taking Elian Gonzalez out of the closet. Remember that from the
Evil
90s? Yeah.
And then a rainbow blog thing. It says blog.
Well, it's funny because
He's
there's
got a
all
Facebook
this,
page.
all this small font, and then you've got this massive BLOG blog.
Yeah,
Like
blog.
yeah, it's like blog when it's all these different colors. Very strange.
There's an anti-evolution link with a picture of a monkey growling.
I feel like I stepped into somebody's brain that is not very well organized. I feel like I'm inside his brain. It's like there's
very
there's a
stream of
universe.
conscious.
There's a
Like,
universe
I wonder what his
there.
does he did he start out with like 5 or 6 links and then he kept thinking, oh, I gotta
Yeah.
have this, and then he just kept it going.
This is
That's
an
kinda
active
what it looks
brain.
like to me.
He doesn't sleep much. This
No,
person.
there's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
It's very
United States is in deep doo-doo is in one links. And also
the threat of nuclear
Roman
disaster.
Catholic celibate priesthood is full of whoremongers.
Ooh.
And then I like right in the middle for some reason it says, "Wake up, America! You need to listen to Alex Jones." And there's a link to Alex Jones's
Wow.
show somewhere here.
Tell your priest the most personal, impure thoughts you have. He's eager to hear them all.
What?
The Antichrist slideshow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's like I don't think he understands the.
Oh, and we haven't even scrolled
Concept.
down. I'm looking at the navigation bar.
we're about
We've
10% of the
scrolled
way
down less than a quarter of the way through this.
I mean, this is just crazy. I mean,
There are literally thousands of links on here.
Now, this is a little strange. It says, click and drag my website's fave icon from the address window onto your links bar. You should see a heart because I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
that's scary.
That's a little.
I don't want your love.
Don't send your kids to church.
Please don't. Oh,
Jesus never changes.
protest gay day.
For this gay day. And then this is a picture of Rudolph Giuliani, I think, in drag.
Oh, yeah.
Drag. Rudy
Mayor
Giuliani.
Rudolph Giuliani. Was he really in drag?
He
Is
did
this-
dress in drag for some comedy sketch or something
I thought it was
years
like
ago.
Fridays at the Blue Oyster.
Glad I've never dressed in drag in a comedy sketch.
Yeah,
so it would
I'm-
come back and haunt me later.
I've only done that once. Shame.
Now I'm
But you
gonna-
did fling
now
yourself
I'm gonna
off the
wind up
cross.
on this website at some point.
Adam
Thousands-
Yenser
in one of their
dresses in
thousands
drag.
of millions of links.
So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that we really need to look at here, but
I'm not sure any of this.
It's funny. There's so many links, and you keep scrolling past, and then eventually the same things start coming up again. There's
Yeah.
another 9/11 truther link.
Oh, there's the dead churches. I wonder if you click the link at the top and it brings you down here.
I maybe.
That's interesting. Dead churches.
I think he has all these sub pages. Like if you click
Do we know, is this one person that runs this site, or is it a
churches,
is it
there's
a
a whole
collective
other
of people?
thing that links to a bunch of other pages. So on his My Facebook page, it links to somebody named David Stewart. So I don't know if that's the guy who runs this.
I feel like this feels like a manifesto from a person who would send bombs through the mail.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a ransom.
We're not
note.
accusing him of doing that,
No, but it's like a ransom.
but
note.
it is that kind of.
It is when they carry the suspect away and they say something like,
They
he
show-
also ran a website
And you're like,
full
oh,
of indecipherable content.
Indecipherable content.
And then they show some of the highlights from the most egregious stuff.
Oh, I guess that illustration top was not a chick tract because he does not like chick tracts.
Oh, he's anti-cheap
Beware of
tracks.
chick tracts.
Oh, yeah, that's evil.
So when gospel tracks kill,
Oh,
so
when
he's
gospel tracks. Surrender your life
so
to
he's he
Christ.
thinks that they're
There are
not.
just essays and essays of stuff.
I wonder if he
written about
writes
these.
all of
I don't
these
know.
or if they're like other essays that he finds.
Yeah.
Boy, whoever is the pastor for this guy, if he goes to somebody's church, that pastor knows all about this. You know he does.
Well,
And the premise of all this for the website is that the King James version is the only version of the Bible you can trust.
I think so he is a King James only guy. He has these like anti-NIV, anti.
Yeah.
Listen to the Alex Jones show. There's a picture of Alex Jones.
boy.
Right there. And is it Terry Schiavo?
Yeah, there's a lot of Terry Schiavo links on here.
Wow. Unshackled, the end of the world books. Wow, he just keeps adding.
It just goes on.
Goes on.
All right. Well, I
Say
guess
about street preaching there. Street preaching resources.
Same-sex marriage, a grim
there's a
rebellion.
verse
Is
from
that
2
him?
Timothy.
That's not him, is it?
I don't think that's him.
That's just a
That's
picture.
not how I
Somebody that
found
he
him.
supports, though. That's one of the first pictures I've seen that he seems to be in favor
He's like,
of.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's doing
Wake up,
good.
America! Listen to Alex Jones. He's very.
Do you like Ray Comfort?
And the font choice is pretty interesting too. We transition into Comic Sans.
Oh,
here.
yes.
Comic Sans.
And then you got some italics.
I didn't
The
see
Comic Sans Bible is the only one you can trust.
What was that?
And this says don't click on this. So I'm going to click on it. And it says you're just like Adam and Eve. Oh, he got me. Because I was commanded not to, and I did it anyway.
Don't click on
That's
that.
very
That's
funny.
pretty clever.
I do like
That's
that.
pretty clever.
Yeah. I'm not seeing papyrus in here anywhere.
There's a meme with too many words of the Titanic.
All right, so
not to use the.
all right, we'll land here. We got to finish with this meme. So we have the Titanic sinking, and it's labeled "Ship of Fools," and it's also labeled Harvest Baptist Church on Guam,
Guam.
and it's also labeled Bob Jones University.
as one of the steam stacks on there.
And it says, "We struck an iceberg of lordship salvation. I warned you not to use those modern Bible versions." I don't know what dispute.
Oh,
this is
what is lordship salvation?
That's
Is
the-
that Christ
that's
is
like-
Lord?
No, it's people that say like you have to repent and believe, and there's that argument of like, are you saved just by that initial intellectual assent, or do you have to repent and Christ must be Lord of your life, or is there a world in which you're saved but Christ isn't really you're sinning and you're off, but you did pray the prayer, so you are saved.
So you're okay.
That was a simplified version, but
You're all set.
all right. Well, we've made it to the bottom.
Wow. You guys made it.
So we made it. All right. Great. Well,
Divorce is a
check out
sin.
Jesus Savior to Come. Maybe
Yeah.
there's some good information there.
All right.
There's a lot to read.
Wow.
Well, now it is time to talk to someone who knows how to design a good website and good books. Paul Cox of RefTunes. He has a new illustrated Westminster Catechism and a lot of other good cartoons, books, stickers, all kinds of good stuff you can get. So let's talk to Paul.
All right. The dollar just hit a 7-month low. Why would you trust your hard-earned savings with unstable governments printing more money while on the brink of default? Protect your financial future with something real, gold and silver, from my friends at Allegiance Gold. Allegiance Gold can help you protect your IRA or 401k with physical gold and silver, or if you prefer, have it delivered securely right to your front door. Allegiance Gold has the highest ratings in the industry. 5 stars with TrustLink, a AAA rating with Business Consumer Alliance, and an A+ with Better Business Bureau. Get up to $500 in free silver with a qualifying purchase when you visit allegiancegold.com/B. Or give them a call at 844-790-9191. We may not be able to control the policies of the Biden administration, but we can prepare for the consequences. Protect your future with Allegiance Gold. Visit allegiancegold.com/B or call 844-790-9191.
And now it's time for another interview on the Babylon Bee podcast.
Yes, everybody, we are talking to Paul Cox, who is the man behind RefTunes. If you haven't seen these online, go check them out, especially if you are into Christian theology and whatnot. There's lots of great illustrations. And I know, early on, I know you were kind of just illustrating quotes from, the old dead white guys. And
Yeah.
I know you've moved into more longer form stuff like the book that we'll talk about, but that's pretty cool. How has RefTunes grown and changed in the last few years since you've been doing it?
Well, yeah, it started out mainly just drawing the old dead guys, the old dead white guys, as you say. But yeah, I mean, I would just get quotes from these old dead guys, and found more and more things in the public domain, like catechisms and confessions, and even children's books like Pilgrim's Progress. I illustrated that as well. And I'm just, it's grown in that, like, I'm kind of expanding the different types of things that I'm trying to draw and illustrate, because I see these as helpful resources for the church, and why not add illustrations to them?
Yeah, and you're a phenomenal artist, man. What are some of your influences from an artistic perspective?
Oh, definitely Bill Watterson from Calvin and Hobbes. He was like a huge inspiration for me. I grew up just reading all of the Calvin and Hobbes books, and when it was actually in the newspaper, I remember sitting at my grandparents' house reading through their Sunday papers and see the big old colored Calvin and Hobbes page. And
I haven't read the funnies in so long. I felt like they were actually funny when I was a kid. I don't know if that's just that I changed, or I don't even know if they still do funnies, but I remember last time I picked up a funnies, it wasn't funny. So sad.
They've become more serious, and they were definitely more funny when I was younger.
I don't know if my taste in humor was good at the time, though, because I thought Garfield was the funniest thing in the world. And I go back and I read them and I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't the funniest thing in the world. But I don't know. There's still something fun about just the standard tropes that you go to when you have a long running strip, like Garfield hates Mondays. Yeah. I don't know. There's something kind of comforting and familiar about it. So yeah, maybe there's too much criticism of Garfield.
Right. Well, when you run that long, as long as Garfield did and does it, I mean,
it's probably still running, right? I mean, I wonder if he still draws it or if he's got ghostwriters and stuff now. But
I don't know. He probably has people working for him.
Team, yeah.
Underlings.
Yeah. And Watterson was so cool because he didn't sell out. He was like, he never sold merch. He was just so into it, and then just gave it up. 10 years in, and he just and he just called it quits because he didn't want to milk it. He didn't want to be under the gun all the time with the deadline. Didn't want to turn it into this big merchandise empire capitalistically. Which, let's talk about your new book. You've got the Westminster Shorter Catechism now illustrated. I know you had the Baptist one, didn't you? Was it the Baptist Catechism?
Yeah, I illustrated the Baptist Catechism, and then I decided I would illustrate the Westminster, since that's what the Baptist Catechism is based off of.
Yeah, I said you get to just recycle like 95% of it, and then you just change out one question, and you're good, right?
Right. The infamous baptism question.
So did you convert? Are you dunking your kids now?
No, we wear we put them in raincoats when we visit our Presbyterian
that's good.
brothers.
That's good. So this is just a cash in to make money off the Presbyterians and get them to transfer money to the Baptists.
That's right. Build our empire.
So what's next? We got the Catholic Catechism coming up next.
Well, probably not.
No. Okay. I don't know the history of the Catholic Catechism. Was that done? And Dan can knock on the wall to confirm or deny, but that was done in response to the Reformed catechisms, right, Dan? He's knocking 3 times. That means I'm correct.
That means you're correct. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take his knock for it.
Well, the funny thing to me is I think of catechism and I think of Catholicism, because we didn't grow up in like confessional churches, and any of my friends who were Catholic, they would tell me about catechism, like, oh, that's a weird ritualistic thing for Catholics, but it was actually a Protestant tradition first. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, what is the value of catechism, especially these, cartoon Bill Watterson style illustrations, illustrated versions of the catechism? I
mean, yeah, I always thought it was Catholic growing up as well, because I had friends who would go off to, there was like a separate bus for kids at school who would like go to like their confirmation classes and things like that. I don't know if that's Catholic or what, but but yeah, I always thought it was just a Catholic thing until I started digging into theology and church history more. And but yeah, I guess the benefit of the catechism is that it's takes all of the basic doctrines of the Bible, condenses it down into question and answer form. And when you go over these with kids, I mean, kids will soak up so much information. And it's like, I heard someone say one time that it's like learning your ABCs. Like you learn the basic doctrines of the Christian faith, and it's like learning the ABCs. It's like the foundations of the faith. And when the kids get that in their heads, as they grow, they grow more and more with these doctrines, and learn them even more as they grow older.
Well, so we've got the Westminster Short Catechism. Everybody check that out. What are some other books and such that you've been working and putting out recently?
Well, the Westminster, certainly. And actually, kind of a little announcement, the Westminster, I'm actually working with P&R Publishing to produce the Illustrated Westminster Catechism in modern English. So the one I have is Old English with KJV, because it's in the public domain and I'm self-publishing. But they're going to produce it in modern English with the ESV instead of the KJV, and they intend to release that in August, just in time for churches to get their fall programming started. But I'm also working with them on a 4-volume graphic novel, and it's a graphic novel version of John Calvin's Institutes of the Christian Religion.
Wow. Wow, I do not know what a graphic novel version of the Institutes will look like, but I can't wait to see what that. Will it have him executing heretics? Is that going to be
that might come in volume 4.
Volume 4. Sure. Okay, I can't wait. That is awesome. All right, where can people check out your work and buy your stuff and check out the catechism?
Yeah, definitely go to reftunes.com. That's my shop. I've got decals, prints, books, calendars. And also I'm on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I recently started YouTube, and I do a lot of live drawing on there. And that's it.
All right, pop quiz. I'm going to quiz you on 3 questions from the Shorter Catechism and see how many you get right.
Oh, no.
First one. What is the misery of that estate whereinto man fell?
Let me...
He's cheating.
No, I don't.
This is not open
what is
book.
the misery? What is the misery? Say that again?
What? This is like a question in the middle of a series. What is the misery of that estate whereinto man fell? Question 19.
Question 19. Mankind fell into a state of sin and misery. I'm getting my catechisms confused because
Sad.
my kids are going through the
Wrong. The correct
the
answer.
smaller one.
The correct answer is all mankind by their fall lost communion with God and are under his wrath and curse and so made liable to all miseries in this life, to death itself, and to the pains of hell forever. And then I'll do 2 more. What offices doth Christ execute as our Redeemer?
The offices of prophet, priest, and king.
Beautiful. And what is the chief end of man?
To glorify God and to enjoy him forever.
We'll give it to you. 2 out of 3. Not bad.
Thanks. Yeah. I
You're,
was thrown off by the old English speak.
we grant you the rank of... Wait. We grant you... I'm trying to remember the Star Wars line. We do not grant you the rank of Presbyterian, but you are not on this council. I don't know. Whatever. That would have worked better if I had prepared. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Paul. And please, everybody, go check this out. Pick up the Catechism. You can get the Baptist one, or you can get the 95% correct one, the Westminster one. And please check that out. It's a great way to... I'm starting to do more family devotionals with my family, and I may grab one of these to do with the kids. So that's awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, that was great, Paul. And Kyle, you did a great job.
Good job, Kyle.
Thank you.
Way to interview.
Now it is time for everyone's favorite segment.
You used to be good.
Adam Ford.
Adam Ford. Adam Ford.
Adam Ford.
I really miss Adam Ford.
Yay.
Here's the first one. One of our top fans, James Rogers, wrote, "The Babylon Bee is a national treasure." And Robert Lovestad responded, "The BB is a national disgrace. I'm sure the BB is a national treasure in Putin's communist Russia."
Putin's communist Russia.
And he got 6 laughy emojis.
That was
And there's
funny.
no apostrophe in Putin's. There's always a spelling
Always
error.
something.
Here's another one. Jerome is Californian Screaming is the name. Jerome Octilio or Octilo. You're about as entertaining as a wet fart in white pants. I find that fairly entertaining, actually.
Yeah, that could be actually
Usually
fun.
kind of funny.
Very crass.
All right. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this show as much as
Yeah.
a wet fart in white pants. And
Is that when you do it or when you see somebody else do it? Because it seems like it's funnier when it's on someone else. Yeah.
hey, if you want to support the
Bad in
Babylon
either
Bee and get a
case.
full-length podcast, become a subscriber at babylonbee.com/plans, and you'll get the rest of the podcast. We're going to go into the subscriber lounge with all the rich people. See you later, poorsies.
Coming up next, for Babylon Bee subscribers.
I greatly enjoyed that.
That was wonderful. It was a real journey.
That was fantastic. His mother came. He lived with his mother at the end.
That was a great second act twist.
There's a
there.
lot of fun reveals.
This greatly annoys my mother.
This greatly annoys my mother.
You don't want to become the next shadow banning googly twit face, but you don't want to become the whore of Babylon either.
Well, I think you were just saying that he's going to hell, Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah.
This has been another edition of the Babylon Bee podcast. From the dedicated team of certified fake news journalists you can trust here at the Babylon Bee, reminding you that fake news of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.